This is my Module 4 KESA model reflection video. And so we'll just go ahead and get started. I work at USD 468 in Healy Public School. Yesterday I talked to my principal about the rubrics, the 4 R's: rigor, relevance, relationships, and responsive culture. I was a little bit surprised at what we talked about. I thought we were more in the implementing stages and no evidence stages, but my principal was able to explain how we're in the transitioning stages for some. So for rigor, we're mostly in transitioning. For relevance, we're kind of in between. If you would look at it as a scale, we're more in between implementing and transitioning. For relationships, we're about 50% of implementing and 50% transitioning. We found there that we're really close to transitioning, we're just missing like the data collection part. So it won't take long for us to get to the transitioning side. And then with responsive culture, same thing as relationships. I believe my principle fits mostly into the democratic leadership theory, because whenever we have a meeting, we're all hands on deck, we're all saying our opinions, and it's never her way or the highway. She's very open to listening to our opinions and what all of us teachers have to say. She's very easy to talk to, and she listens to what we have to say, like I said. One of the rubrics that we showed no evidence for is relationships under component 1 for staff, which is support for educators that have been teaching for 3 or more years. And we obviously have to have it for new teachers right now, but we don't have it for teachers that have been teaching for a while. And what I would do is I would implement a system where we take turns observing each other, schedule it so, my students would be at specials and I could go in and observe another teacher teaching. So that would be part of it. That would be a little challenging, is to get everyone scheduled and at the right times. And let's see. Then once the teacher has observed another teacher, they could have a little feedback session and then talk about what they saw that was great, what they saw that they might change, any suggestions they would have. And I think it'd just be a great way to grow as teachers, because you can always learn and grow from other people's advice. Some of the standards that I found that fit that is our standards for D, ensure instructional practice that is intellectually challenging, authentic to students' experiences, recognizing students' strength, and is differentiated and personalized. So as someone that goes in and observes, if they're not seeing these differentiated and personalized lessons, then they can help that teacher realize that, and then the teacher that was being observed can make those changes. I also thought that standard 6E, deliver actionable feedback about instruction and other professional practice through valid research-anchored systems of supervision and evaluation to support the development of teachers and staff members' knowledge, skills, and practice. This is the the evaluation or observation part. Sorry, I can't obviously speak today. And then also, whoops, where'd it go? Standard 6F, to empower and motivate teachers and staff at the highest levels of professional practice and to continuous learning and improvement. The second one that we are under implementing for, I think we're more at the very beginning of implementing. There were some that my principal and I didn't completely agree on, but it was fascinating to talk about why. So for relevance, component 3, student to teacher, when it talks about provide evidence that students collaborate with teachers and are given opportunities to ask questions about their learning and about the learning climate. What I would do is I think reflection time is really important even for students. So I would have them reflect and have individual student meetings, quick check exit tickets, T-mail, like teacher mail, where they could just write you a quick note, and then you can look at it later. And then my standards are standard 3B, standard 4C, that promote students' learning and strength through diversity. And that is all. I thought this assignment was really interesting and beneficial because we're able to look at the model really for the first time for me as a new teacher. And I'm excited to go more towards the end of transitioning and beginning of the modeling stages.